Hello and welcome to the back nine of round 2 of the 2023 Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. It is our first major of the year. This is round 2 of 4 out here at W.R. Jackson in Appling, Georgia. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hockeys.
Honk.
Honk. Another sunny, beautiful day.
Yeah, just so nice to be alive, be out there throwing discs, you know.
It did get a little it got a little windy on the back nine. You could kind of feel it through the woods actually. And the pollen was for sure dropping. We were out there sneezing.
Yep. Kristin Tattar, bogey free for the tournament, leading the pack. Kat Mertsch and Haley King and Catrina Allen following behind about 6 strokes or so. Several people shooting under par, but I think the course is playing a little harder overall than yesterday.
Yep, Kristin and Catrina still bogey free through round 2. Let's see what happens on the back.
Hole 10, a par 4, 606 feet. You are throwing kind of an Anheuser shot, trying to turn this corner and get to this orange flagging you see on the tree here, which I believe is 250, but possibly 300 feet. Then you're trying to throw your second shot all the way down here. You can see how technical it gets, these final fairway trees to this green. It's one of those ones that, because it's only 606, you think, like, yeah, I should get this every time, but it's sneakily hard. Forehand is definitely a play for that elite power.
Yeah,
if you don't backhands.
Yeah, if you don't have the distance, it can be very dangerous because it goes early right, like we see here, and can be tough to scramble from if your disc hyzers into those woods, especially if it gets a big skip. Like Erika said, I kind of like more of the Anheuser play, although we'll see a lot of players do a hyzer flip with that late turn because it goes straight for a long time before it starts going right, and finishing straight is not bad.
So that's that same Champ Glow Thunderbird I was talking about earlier, and we see Kat get every bit of that one.
Yeah, it flips up sometimes, it hyzer sometimes. It is a magic disc.
Mm-hmm. And she's probably 30 feet past kind of what you'd think of as the ideal landing zone.
Haley early, but it works out just fine, riding that left side. And that middle group of trees, even though it seems like a bad spot, it's actually pretty perfect, especially if you have that distant sidearm.
Yeah, hopefully she has a run-up, though. It's the only problem.
I bet you she could throw standstill from there.
Yeah, you're right.
Dollar side bet?
Yeah, sure. Well, okay. And get in the circle, is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, I think she can.
Great.
It's a little bit downhill from there, but she does have to go up just a wee bit before down. Kristin having to still get around the corner.
Yeah, looking like a par. Great recovery shot. It can be hard to throw that sidearm when you're pinned on the right side and there's trees kind of close in your swing.
Yeah, she made it look very easy.
All right.
Haley, stand still. 2 inside the circle. Just kidding.
Oh. Shouldn't be happy. I literally always take the negative outcome bets. Like, I have a problem.
I set you up for it.
Catrina, a little bit closer, I think, has the run-up. She threw a Proline Vortex off the tee. Again, this is kind of the ideal landing zone, and we saw Kat Mertsch go just blast past it.
You can see her back foot slide out on those pine needles, getting that early release, catching a fairway tree, kicking left, but she'll be able to pitch out to the green from there, get that par.
Kristin still battling that right side. I was in that same spot, and she threw that so much better than me. That is not an easy little gap she just hit.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I mean, just the fact that she's always coming in right on the bullseye. It's like there's a magnet there.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah,
all
definitely.
Her discs are magnetized?
Yep.
New technology from Latitude 64. Kat with just a standstill pitch up, gets just inside the circle for her birdie look.
Hole 10 played as the 3rd most difficult hole, and that's largely due in part to lack of birdies. It's one of the easier holes to take a bogey on as well. There's a lot of places you can get tangled up, so it's both.
Well, and I think no one's necessarily intentionally playing it for par. Like, everyone's thinking, oh, I can throw 2 300-foot shots, you know?
Okay, this is one of the few that I actually am okay with playing for par.
Sure, but, like,
I am playing it for par. No,
you, like, lay off and don't...
Oh, yeah, especially on the tee shot.
Okay.
Yep, this one's not one that I'm attacking on, and that's most of the holes that I am attacking on.
Whatever, that sounds smart. Fine.
You got to pick your holes. But you can see everyone on our lead card does have the ability to get there. It's just that first shot that can be pretty tough and set the tone for the rest of the hole.
Haley missing her birdie putt, coming back for the par.
There were only 2 birdies on the day. Holland Hanley and Anakin Steen finding those 3s. That is so impressive. There was only 4 people finding circle 1 regulation, while 30% finding circle 2.
Kristin hanging on to that 5-stroke lead over Haley. Catrina, Holland Hanley, Cap Mertsch, 1 stroke back.
Hole 11, the second of the shorter pin placements that we see on the course. 342 feet, very flat. One of the first places on the course where you can really feel the wind. We had a little bit of a headwind here, which helps disc turn over or turns them over a little bit too early. A lot of distance drivers or fairway drivers on this hole. You want something that pushes that tree line straight and then does a late flip. Gets maybe a little bit of glide. You don't necessarily want something that's going to dump over. The distance forehand is a great play if you've got it.
And Kristin's got it with a grace. Catches that last tree, but she'll have a birdie look.
You can see Kat feeling the wind with her brain. Catches an early tree, and that's going to be tough. But there's room to work over there. She could throw a big sidearm to get to the green.
Yeah, that's probably her only chance to really get there to save her par.
Haley picking the sidearm as well.
Really wide.
Yeah, grip blocking it into the trees, and doesn't look like she got a great kick.
Catrina with the backhand.
A little early.
Just a little.
But it fights through. Pin high, almost.
It's her Cole Redolin pipeline, and she'll have a circle 2 birdie putt. Solid recovery from Kat Mertsch. She'll be, looks like, just outside the circle for her par. Ooh. Oof. This looks horrible.
Yeah, the whole left and right side of the fairways covered with these tiny trees. It leaves no gaps and no room to scramble out unless you go over the top. I mean, even this shot is not easy. Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Great recovery. We'll have to settle for bogey, though. Catrina, worse off than I expected, but that looked like a run. She's about 16 feet for her par. Kristin for birdie. Give it to her. Oh, I liked it.
Just a little bit short. 17% of the field getting to circle 1, 38 to circle 2. And 17% of the field getting birdies.
Dang, Kat gonna have to settle for double. This pin was at least 60 feet farther last year. We saw maybe a couple birdies. Felt like an eagle. It's a great change. Still challenging.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised so many people birdied it. I feel like this one's pretty tough. Having that 342-foot right finishing shot.
Yeah, right. That's max distance for quite a few ladies in our field. Especially on the sidearm.
Mm-hmm. Haley, unfortunately, carding the bogey as well.
Katrina's bag with some flair. Holland Hanley 5 down, matching Kristin through 11 holes.
Wow.
Hole 12, our second par 5 of the day. You can go right gap or left gap here. The ideal landing zone is right around this stump we are passing now, and then you make a choice of narrower left gap, though less distance, more straightforward. You see a lot of people go this right side hyzer gap as well. 861, definitely harder than our last par 5. I don't know that we're gonna see any eagles on this one. It would take 2 just phenomenal max distance shots. I don't really see it happening.
Yeah, this is a true par 5 here. Getting a 4 feels awesome.
I like the left side play with a slight turnover just like this. Though I like to land about 30 feet shorter than that because I'm not a show-off. Kristin landing right at that stump that I mentioned, which is a marker of a wonderful shot.
That left side gap on the second shot is more cleared out this year, so we will see more players maybe taking advantage of that. Catrina flipping her drive over into no man's land on the right side, and that is...
Terrible kick.
Yeah, really tough to recover from as well.
Yeah, I like the inside gap because where Catrina landed, I think is harder to scramble from than the left side. There's kind of a false fairway on the left side if you kick far enough, so it's a little bit easier to scramble. Cat Mertsch trying to play, what is that, bocce ball with Kristin's disc, lands a couple feet away. Cat throwing that Thunderbird again. Oh, Kristin threw a St. Pro.
Haley blasting past the stump, no problem. Doesn't even worry about those trees on the side. But kind of
pinched in the corner.
Yeah, she might be forced to go right side. We'll see what she has to work with.
I feel like to go left, she'd have to go like touchy turnover sidearm.
Cat going from one side of the fairway to the other. Not where you want to be. We'll see what she has to work with. She might be pinched again.
Kristin looks like she's lining up the right side play.
She's dead center in the gap. Perfect for it. Pushing straighter than you want to,
Just
but
a bit.
That's fine.
Fine. Yep. What do you think? Like, got to be inside 200 from there.
Yeah. Cat opting for the right side as well. A little tighter, a little more aggressive.
Looks great.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. She could entertain the idea of an eagle. One fan really liked it.
Haley's drive.
Oh, she's doing it. Is that a roller play?
No, I think she's going to go forehand flex.
That's what I thought too, but then for a second she tricked me. Dang, that was a great looking line. She catches one little branch and is at the edge of that middle clump of trees. She could still birdie from there.
Yeah, it's
Might
a
be
little
tough.
bit tougher for sure. Catrina on the left side gap, able to stretch out far enough to get all the way to the end. She'll be able to save her par from there.
Kristin with the trusty harp.
Far enough down that she's able to throw a sidearm here. Most people are having to throw a backhand into this green, which can be sketchy because it's very skippy and you can easily skip into the woods on the left side. That forehand was perfect, right inside the circle.
Yeah, she's totally dialed. Haley with a little standstill forehand as well. It's to about 20 feet.
She had more to work with over there than I thought.
That's what I'm saying. They cleared out that left side. It's legit.
Catrina early releases a little bit, but she'll still have a putt to save par. Cat just chipping up. No problem. Wow.
Couldn't be more parked. That's the closest I've seen after 2 shots. Catrina for her par save. What a scramble.
Wow.
Outside the circle jumper.
That's such a scary putt, too. It drops off a little downhill behind that basket. Yeah, let's watch it again in slow-mo.
Catrina bogey free on the round.
Nice.
Gorgeous putt.
25% of the field getting birdies on this one.
Nice, ladies.
Haley's going to
one of
be...
them.
Oh,
Barely.
barely. Sneaking in that right side. She plays the hole so differently than everyone else. That powerful tee shot. Kristin playing the hole exactly how you draw it up. Cat blowing minds again.
As she does. Kristin really taking control here.
Hole 13, the third shortened hole out on WR Jackson. And this one I think is the hardest one by far. Just a little bit more of a narrow tee shot, and you still have to have that right finishing shot at 350 feet. It looks downhill, but it doesn't really play as downhill as it looks maybe. It's also a much later finishing shot. I think erroring left and hyzering out is better than early right. All in all, it's pretty easy and straightforward to get up and down.
And pretty easy to just park it in the bullseye with a grace forehand. Let's see it again, follow flight.
I know, as I'm saying, it's easy to get up and down if you hit early. Like, it's never even a worry in her mind. Wow.
Who tickled
There's that
off
magnet
the chains
again.
yesterday? Do you remember?
Haley.
Haley did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did a forehand skip that hit like right side chains.
Cat opting for the sidearm as well.
This is an X-Cal.
Oh, wow. Iron leaf situation. Drops it straight down.
Yeah, she definitely pulled it a little bit to the left.
Oh.
Haley pulling it even farther to the left. You can see right out of her hand.
Yeah,
She did not like that.
Been having that issue with her sidearm today.
Catrina gonna show us the backhand route, which is honestly the more common route, though it doesn't seem like it based off what we're seeing.
A lot of hyzer on that shot. It doesn't have time to flip, and it doesn't. I don't know if it ever would have, but recovering from that left side is not so bad.
Generally, she's a little earlier, I think, than you
Okay.
see. You know what I mean? Like, usually people get maybe 40 or 50 feet farther up. Cat Mertsch just pitches up to the bullseye for her par. Haley again from a knee, throwing the sidearm.
Oof.
Hits something high, drops very short.
Cat having to throw kind of a patent pending / putt. Oh, yeah.
What a recovery.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of those tiny little trees over there.
Haley just jump putting up for her bogey save. Catrina taking her time with a par save. Yes, ma'am.
Keeping that bogey-free streak alive. It's weird that Catrina's 3 down doesn't even, like bogey-free 3 down doesn't even seem that good.
Yeah, like it seems like
what we're seeing.
Yeah, she seems like she's leaving strokes out there.
Yeah.
And that would have literally been probably one of the top rounds in years prior.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder when we're going to stop being surprised at how good everyone is.
I don't know. I'm sure people are tired of it, so sorry. You guys should be impressed too, is all we're saying.
Just seeing it happen in a matter of a couple of years is
Impressive.
When we've been doing it for me 10 years, it's really insane and awesome to watch.
Hole 14 is an uphill par 4 to start, 579 feet. You can get up to this flat area past these trees. You are in business. You can choose the inside gap forehand that Madison likes, or what she calls just the insane left side play, which I like, with a forehand, or I actually like a drifting backhand turnover. It's definitely an awkward shape on the second shot. It's not really a natural flight path that you're throwing all the time.
Yeah, ideally on this tee shot, you do what Kristin just did, and that's try to get this left side. She did not mean to go inside of those trees. It's a little bit more left than you want, but it actually sets up really well for the second shot sidearm.
Great distance, at least. That was her arrive.
Cat with a more typical line.
Beautiful.
And getting a ton of ground play.
That's her wraith.
Wow, that's so far.
Makes that second shot a little less awkward.
Catrina floating it out a little bit wider to the right, but she also getting lots of ground play and nice carry to the left with that added height.
Haley gonna be early.
Similar area that Kristin is, but a little bit more in the woods.
Yeah, Kristin has kind of an open look here.
I liked that camera angle.
Yeah, me too.
Turning it a little bit, checking up early.
I think she's in circle 2, though.
Haley, is she lining up a roller?
Roller.
Yeah, she is.
Or
Tomahawk?
Tomahawk?
I can't tell what happened,
Rolla?
but it worked.
Yeah, she's out. God, man, they are just so far.
Yeah. Catrina pushing that tree line deep, which is what you have to do to get inside the circle.
Beautiful shot. Cat lining up the inside gap with a forehand.
Perfect.
I like that little shoot from a hip style she just did.
Yeah, trying to get a ton of spin on it to get that ground play.
Haley, long look for birdie. Online, just low. Gets a mean little roll to about 20 feet.
Wow, 9 people birdied this one today.
Nice.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. It looks so good every time.
Yeah, that's the third one. Long putt that we've seen Kristin miss just barely low. She's right on line, though.
And it's so good, too, because they stay close.
Catrina, after that nice sidearm shot with the birdie, she's incorporating that sidearm so much more often lately, and it's really paying off.
Cat with a birdie as well.
At WR Jackson, you can see all of our lead card ladies have both great backhands and excellent sidearms, and that's so important in woods golf to have both, especially distance on both of them.
And like you were saying, kind of a recent development to have both shots, you know, powerful and technical.
Yep. Not just for approaches. We're talking tee shots as well. Through hole 14, Kristin still with a massive and growing lead.
Yeah. Katrina Allen and Kat Mertsch overtaking Haley King, though, by a stroke.
And Holland Hanley also shooting 7 down for the round.
Yeah.
So impressive. Hole 15, 543 feet. Your first shot, you want to get well over this creek, and if you're feeling saucy, even cresting this hill where it starts to steeply go downhill to the basket that's perched right on the edge of a little creek that can be tough for putting. I think being on the left side of the fairway is the best way to go. Right side is an option, but it's a little bit more chippy, a little bit more angle control required because they're very narrow gaps.
Common errors are overturning it to the right or just not turning it enough and hitting the center group of trees. Cat Mertsch gonna throw that Champ Glow Thunderbird way up the hill.
Even if you get your drive really far down the right-hand side, like we just saw Kat, it can still be really tough to get up and down.
It can.
We'll see what she has to work with. Katrina going to be in a similar...
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
She gets the ground play over to the left. Similar line, just a bit more finish on the end.
Wow.
Has a straight look at the basket.
Drive is monstrous.
I think it's really hard to get that finish when you turn the disc so much. It's kind of a force over. What we're seeing here from Kristin is a really common mistake, as I said. Just right into that center tree, not getting the turn.
Haley going huge here. She wants it to carry over right because if you go too far left down this hill, it can be tough to recover from.
She's going towards a hole 16's tee pad. That's a huge shot. Definitely farther left, like Mad said, but so far.
And Kristin also going huge here with the sidearm, trying to carry.
Wow. Standstill, huge floating Anheuser sidearm.
Was she
to
on the
nearly
short side of the creek?
Circle 2. Yes.
Oh.
By a ways.
That is just an incredible recovery shot. Incredible.
And Cat Mertsch able to look at the pin. Coming into this creek, which just loves to collect discs. Makes for really tough putting if you don't want to get your feet wet. That hill's pretty steep. Katrina just throwing a little standstill putter. She leaves it shorter than she wants. Again, the speed control is difficult on this hill.
That's a smart play, though. It is fast. It just unfortunately catches a few too many rocks. Haley letting it hyzer out a little bit early. She'll have a tester downhill putt, and this putt can be a little scary. Look at Kristin right at the creek.
Yeah, if you miss, it can be a really tough comeback.
Ooh. Love the floaty bid, and the magnet is in effect right in the bullseye.
Haley for birdie. It's got to be 50 feet at least.
Sending it.
Oh, good effort. Katrina circles edge for birdie. Give it to her.
Wow.
2 in a row.
Man, that's a nice long putt too. Looking so confident down the hill.
That gets her, I believe, 4 down on the round. Cat taking relief from the creek up the hill. That is the first available safe lie. Jumps across the creek. Inner child is alive in Cat Mertsch.
You can see even just getting her disc from the creek, it's tough. Ooh, almost got wet. 20% of the field taking birdies here. And 2 of the ladies on our card taking those threes as well. Kristin holding on to that 6-stroke lead right now. Catrina and Kat tied for second place. Holland Hanley in that 3-way tie as well.
Hole 16 is a technical uphill par 3, 297 feet. The first real instance of significant artificial OB on the right before the creek kind of bubbles out and then gets close around the green, which is perched on a hillside. I think turnover backhand with some of these ladies might throw a mid-range, but I think fairway driver is probably the most common play. Kind of in that middle, you kind of want to aim at that middle fairway tree and then turn either just around it like Kat is doing or just before it.
Sidearm is in play here as well,
That's
but
true.
the backhand turnover I think is the better play.
Yeah, sidearm has the risk of skipping down the hill too much.
And there is out of bounds to the right of the basket or deep of the basket, however you want to look at it. Only about 25 or 30 feet next to it.
Kat, like I said, mid-range throwing MD3. Catrina is
Wow.
throwing her Catrina Allen SP Rift.
Bullseye.
Check out her Tour Series discs if you want to support Catrina.
If you want to get birdies.
Yeah. Kristin with a claymore. They're literally all throwing mids.
Kristin with the perfect line there, pushing that tree deep, like Erika said. A lot of people have a tendency to turn it over really early and have to get sneaky through those corner trees. Haley and Kristin both executing this shot really well.
That was a Halo Mako 3 from Haley, and she slides past that stump that caught Kristin. Should be really close for her birdie.
Kristin just pitching up, doesn't want to mess with this. It drops off very steeply behind the basket, 2 out of bounds.
Kat looks like she wants to mess around with this.
No surprise here. Love how she plays. Aggressive. Not too aggressive, though. Leaving it a little low.
Yeah, it definitely
nice and
looked
soft.
a little bit softer than her normal putt.
Haley doesn't have to really worry about the drop off behind the basket. A little bit more sideways.
I wonder if that tree's in her way. Kind of looks like it.
Yeah, that looked like an Annie putt.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit low on the cage.
Catrina also with this tree, straddling out to the right. Maybe a bit of a hyzer putt.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a turkey for Catrina.
Putting looking solid today.
Yeah, and she's picking some up late in the round. I don't want to say she had a slow start, but it definitely felt like she wasn't quite converting on the birdies in the front.
There's a lot of pars for sure and a lot of scrambles for pars. So she's definitely turning up the volume in the back 9.
And that's Catrina to go to 6 down. My math was wrong earlier, obviously. I am a goose. Kristin Tattar at that 7 down.
Catrina now in solo second place. Hole 17. Par 4. This tee shot sets the tone for the rest of the hole. It is such a gauntlet type of a tee shot. Ideally, you land right here in the middle of this grassy area, but that doesn't necessarily mean your approach is easy. It's super uphill, and with all the loose leaves, it can be very tricky footing, very slippery. Your second shot has to go up and over this hill to this downhill sloping green. We saw players yesterday get to the top of the hill and just be looking straight down at the basket. Most mere mortals are just kind of throwing one into the side of the hill and then dealing with what they're working with.
We'll attempt not to be flabbergasted as they blow our minds. That was a normal level good shot from Catrina.
And it was a great shot.
Yeah.
This fairway is very, very, very tight. Catching any of those early trees too make it almost an instant bogey. You can recover it, but it is something special.
Kat trying to go big with her star shrike. Catches right side, but lands in a solid spot.
Shrike is such a surprising choice to me here. That's like trying to go huge.
She's going big, big.
Yeah.
Kristin with a St. Pro. Getting slightly less turn than she wanted, but progressing decently up the fairway.
Yeah, she's far enough down that she even has a bit of a gap.
Haley throwing Roadrunner.
Interesting.
She was really throwing that disc well yesterday, and it almost worked there. Just slightly too much turn.
This played as the most difficult hole of the day, averaging at about almost 3/4 of a stroke over par. Haley showing us how that corner can be a little bit technical and very tricky.
She'll have a line to the basket, but it's that left side, really tight line. Kristin taking the right side, catching a tree though.
This green is challenging though because of how it slopes away downhill, and it's also very fast, not a lot of grass underneath, so you can get crazy skips.
Cat with a really smooth little forehand, kind of to that left side gap.
Yeah, not trying to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, that was a smart play. Catrina with the best look at it, going down the right side. She's going to have a putt. A bit risky, though, going downhill. Looks like she's at about 40 feet.
21% of the field getting to circle 2 in regulation and nobody finding circle 1.
Yeah, tough hole. Haley's third. Kind of a smallish gap. Haley tries to throw it in. Wow. Wow.
She's ridiculous. This is such a fast green. What she just did was insane and reckless.
I mean, I think she was probably just trying to hit the gap. It's a good bid, though, you know.
She hit the gap hard.
Cat Mertsch lays up really nicely on her third shot. Kristin's third with the harp, going a little turnover. Fades just a hair more than you want, but she's 22 feet maybe.
Catrina's for birdie. That was a safe, smart bid here. Those putts can go way far past. She's kind of smiling.
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes your body just is like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah, stop it.
Par feels great on this one, though.
Yep, no birdies on the day. This is another one, though, that everyone can reach. Everyone can get. It's just so absurdly technical that it turns into one of the hardest holes that we play at this very difficult course. Yeah. Kristin hanging on to that 5-stroke lead.
And wrapping it up, our final change in pin placements. It's a par 4 this year, 534 feet. Same tee shot as last year. You're trying to go up this right side and land somewhere around here, or if you are really good, here. And then we are going to the left instead of the right into this beautiful open fairway. There is out of bounds that wraps around the basket, both left and right. Easier to find on the left than the right. If you don't have just a massive tee shot, it is very risky to go for the birdie on this one.
Yeah, because you have to carry over the hill.
And it's usually blind.
Yeah, and your nose up as well, so it's easy to hyzer out or dump something over and find those OB lines on either side.
Catrina a little early, but progresses most of the way up the fairway. Catches that last little clump of trees on the left.
This tee shot's so much fun to end the round with. Cat finding an early tree, and that's going to be par at best here, even maybe kind of struggling for the par. We'll see what she has to work with. But I like how it's super uphill, and you can just kind of throw one as hard as you can.
Yeah, there's not very many you can just let loose on.
Yeah, it feels like you can open up.
Kristin throwing Arrive, getting to a really great spot. Haley unleashing this Star Wraith. I wanted to see it finish. Catches a tree and still in a good spot, and that had so much speed still on it.
Cat just trying to get out of the woods and into the gap here. If she can crest the hill, great.
Classic mistake on the forehand turnover, just overturning it a little bit, and it turns and burns into the ground.
It's going to be tough to save par from that position. Catrina just getting out into the open.
And that's great. She's probably 120 feet for her par to go a bogey-free 6 down on the round.
Wow. Is Kristin still bogey-free as well?
Yep.
Wow.
Check your betting pools, folks. She just gets to the top of the hill. Doesn't look thrilled about it, but par's good. Haley 2 down on the round. Finding a lot of birdies, but I think she had 4 bogeys today.
I like how we saw Haley just scan all the gaps and then like not really think, just go for the one she looked at last. Love that.
Disc golf is a feeling.
Yeah. Kat finally getting out of that gap. She'll have double bogey. Unless she can throw it in here, double bogey the best she can do.
No, she can. That was her 3rd. This is her 4th, so bogey.
I mean, that's what I meant. Sorry, bogey. My bad.
Yep, so that's going to be a bogey. Going to put Kat at 2 down on the round. Similar story to Haley. Quite a few birdies, but just finding trouble as well.
And that's what happens when you go huge like they do. You're gonna find yourself.
To be fair,
that's true.
It just happens.
But you're gonna find yourself in some mistakes when you're ripping these distance drivers everywhere. But mad props to them for doing it. It's really fun to watch. And when it's well executed, man, they could shoot a 10 down out here.
Yeah. Mad props from Mad. That's no joke.
Serious.
Kat Mertsch gonna hang on to solo 3rd, but she's 7 strokes back of the lead with 2 more days to go.
Only 4 birdies on the day on hole 18. I shouldn't say only. That's more than I ever expect.
Yeah.
Hole 18 is tough.
Thank you. I was gonna argue with you.
Yeah, Henna Blomroos, Jessica Weiss, Heidi Lane, and Paige Pierce getting 3s.
Kristin gonna have 5 strokes on Katrina Allen. Haley King gonna finish 2 down and hang on to that 4th place spot, which is kind of rare to have the exact same leaderboard, same lead card.
Yeah, everyone played super solid. Holland Hanley trying to get up there into that lead card position. Owen Scoggins and Ella Hansen both shooting 3 downs as well.
Jessica Weiss with a 5 down.
Yep. Looks like to be in the top 10, you need to be 3 down overall. So Sarah Holcomb sliding into that 10th place position as well. Stacey Ronsley shooting a 3 down. Macy Vela Diaz sliding down into 11th place. We still have 2 more rounds though, so like I don't want to say this doesn't matter, but there's still a lot of work left to do. I mean, just think about what we just watched in these 2 9s.
And also nothing matters.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us during the 2nd round of WR Jackson of the Champions Cup. We have 2 more rounds. We are projected some rainfall tomorrow, so hopefully that doesn't happen, or it only happens during the men's round. But thank you guys for hanging out watching FPO. We appreciate your support so much. And thanks to Jomez for everything. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and we're the 2 hotkeys.
Honk.
Honk.